Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 120, my brand new comics haul series. I know I'm a couple days late on this episode again too. It's been happening over the last couple weeks. Usually I record these on Wednesdays when the comics actually come out. It's now Friday, but I've been busy with work. I've been working over the summer, so it's just been harder to find the time to actually get down to my local comic shop. I think I got my books yesterday instead of on Wednesday, and I'm just getting around to filming this, so I do want to get back in, the flow of content, doing other things besides just filming the comic hauls. There's been some really good news I've been wanting to report on and stuff from like San Diego Comic-Con and stuff, so yeah, I'll be trying to get back into, more regular videos soon, but for now I've got 5 issues that I just picked up. Some good releases, like obviously not too many, but I've got 3 from Marvel, a couple from Image, which are pretty big ones. So we'll start off with Image for a change today. The first one being Big Game #1. So this is like this huge crossover that Mark Millar is doing with all of his different properties that he's like amassed over, I guess, decades of writing comics under Image and other companies maybe, but all these different characters that he's made in their own solo series. I guess they're all living in a shared universe. So this is him working with Pepe Larraz, who did so many like X-Men comics over the last few years with Jonathan Hickman, coming onto Image, right? So I think Mark Millar has a thing, or maybe he like pays really top tier artists a lot of money or something, since he's an independent guy that just like owns all these characters and has a lot of properties to work with. It's easy for him to just like pay out artists and for them to come work, not for the big two, but for independent companies like Image. And yeah, artwork is looking great in here. To be honest, I don't actually read like almost anything Mark Millar. The only thing I can think of that I've fully read by him is Nightclub, which I think is still coming out, but that's supposed to be one of the teams that ends up being in this crossover. It's also like the Ambassadors are part of this, as well as his more well-known characters like the Magic Order and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot I don't know about this. It's honestly not very rational for me to be buying this comic, since I probably will just be kind of lost in a lot of it, but because of the art, because of just the idea of there being so many characters crossing over, I thought this would be a cool thing to pick up. So yeah, there's like a list of all the books that or somehow involve the characters and teams and stuff that Mark Millar has worked on over the years. If you're picking this up, let me know what you're thinking of it down in the comment section below. I haven't heard too much about this so far, but I think it is a pretty big crossover, especially with like some of the biggest names in comics on that, right? Next up, though, from Image is the other issue I picked up from them this week. It's Void Rivals #2. I realized I don't have this on my pull list. I had to grab this one off of the stand, so this is one to keep your eyes on right now. I should definitely add this because it's like the start of this new Energon universe. Not sure how to pronounce that, but it's like a crossover between Transformers, G.I. Joe, and like whatever Robert Kirkman is doing in this actual new series, Void Rivals. So I think this is like the flagship, right, that connects all those different like licenses together and really makes them a shared universe, as well as adds to it and kind of a new space side of things. So last issue we saw our main character and this other character that are part of 2 different like warring alien races who have been battling against each other for centuries, something along those lines, who were stranded with each other on a planet and kind of have to work through each other's differences in order to escape. They ran into like a transformer, and that kind of introduced us to that side of this new universe. I've never read anything Transformers. I've never read anything G.I. Joe. I guess the farthest I've gotten into either of those sides of anything is like watching the new Transformers movie. So it's weird how something like this can get even someone like me excited who has no prior experience with those characters. Just the idea that this is such a new thing with like the shared universe, interconnecting so many different like pre-existing things as well as whatever's going on in this new series. So yeah, we'll see about this. It's the same creative team as Oblivion Song, which I've enjoyed. I've read a few issues of that too. So we'll see about this. I think a lot of people are grabbing this, right? So let me know what you guys are thinking of this so far down in the comments, but it seems pretty exciting. Next up, though, let's move on to Marvel Comics. I've got 3 issues from them. First one here is Moon Knight City of the Dead #1. So this is not a relaunch or anything. It's just a companion series to the ongoing Moon Knight one. I still haven't finished #25. I've got kind of a big stack of comics to catch up on right now, actually. But the way they marketed this new miniseries, I think it's going to be 5 issues, is that you got to read that like oversized like $10 25th issue first, and then it leads you into this miniseries, which is a different writer, a different artist. So it is a different creative team, but I've been really loving everything Moon Knight that Marvel's been putting out with the main ongoing series by Jed MacKay. And artwork is looking pretty good in here, I'll say that much. So I figured it would at least be worth trying out this new like companion miniseries. Not sure how they're going to plan on like wrapping up this companion series as well as the main run, because we just recently got like an announcement of some sort of Death of the Moon Knight like story arc that they're doing, and I think like 28 through 30 of the main series, so that's really coming up, and I'm not sure if that means it's going to be the end of Jed McKay's run, which I'd be really sad to see him go, but it could end up being that. So this might kind of be wrapping things up, and we'll see what the deal is with this new miniseries. Thought I'd give it a try. That's Moon Knight City of the Dead #1. Next up from Marvel, though, this is a wrap-up, actually, to another 5-issue miniseries, Extreme Venomverse #5. So ever since I saw the cover for this book, I've been looking forward to this issue of the series the very most of all. And I was looking inside of the credits page. It looks like there's 4 different stories in this one. But just that cover is insane. It's so intriguing, right? Like a Godzilla Venom, like baseball Venom, and Jeff the Landshark Venom. So Jeff the Landshark was like this kind of cartoony thing that Marvel's been putting out on Marvel Unlimited, I think, which I haven't been buying for a while now, but they've been like reprinting those stories in physical form, and this is like a brand new one where Jeff the Landshark gets venomized or something, so that's fun. Looks like we got some sort of like Kingpin Venom story in here, and for anyone that's not already aware, this is leading into the whole Death of the Venomverse event, which with this being the last issue, the first issue of actual Death of the Venomverse event comes out in August, I think, and they're like doing weekly issues that are all oversized, so it's a lot to keep up with. Honestly, this Extreme Venomverse series has just been kind of fun. A lot of the stories are hit or miss. Like, overall, just kind of in the middle, I'd say. Like, some of them make it worth buying certain issues, but a lot of them are just kind of throwaway, and you won't really remember these stories later on. So I'd kind of say maybe just pick up Death of the Venomverse. I would not say this is necessary reading, unless you've already gotten into it, right? So Death of the Venomverse #5, this is the most intriguing issue for me, definitely, especially the baseball Venom. So we'll see about that. The last issue I picked up from Marvel, though, this is another actually pretty good ongoing series that they have started up again recently, Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is #4. We've got like Lansing and Kelly, right? So that's the creative team behind the Steve Rogers Captain America series recently, I think. They also just announced that those same guys are doing a Thunderbolt series that's coming up. But so far, we've just seen the Guardians in like a really different place than they were at the end of Al Ewing's run, which like ended a couple years ago. So we had kind of a big gap in between that one and this one. And it's just a new story arc, Grootfall. They're in kind of a sad place, right, where it's like the Guardians are disheveled. There's only a few of the original members left. And it looks like we're getting reintroduced to Rocket, actually, in this issue, who hasn't even been in the series thus far. And they're dealing with Grootfall, where Groot is like now this like planet-devouring entity, just kind of like Galactus at this point. So not sure how long they're planning on going with this. It's very different than where we saw the Guardians at the end of their last run, like I said. So we'll see how they continue on with this series. The art style is kind of weird. It's like a little bit cartoonish, but I'm liking it for the most part so far. Definitely an interesting series. I really didn't expect this from a new Guardians. So let me know what you guys are thinking of that one, if you're actually also buying it. And those were all the books I picked up this week. Let me know what you guys picked up down in the comment section below, what you're looking forward to reading this week, and which books you're excited about. I know I haven't been on this channel as much over the last couple weeks, so like I said, I do want to get back into making some extra videos besides just these new comics hauls, and hopefully I'll be able to put out next week's episode like actually on time on Wednesday, but we'll see. So those are all the books I picked up. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.